Okay, before we start this video, can we all take a collective deep breath in? Hi, hello, and welcome back to my channel. My name is Cody. I am a writer, and in today's video, we're talking about everyone's favorite topic in the indie publishing world. Money. Money, 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 money. Money. Now, when I first set out on the journey to become an indie published author, the very first question that I asked myself was, how much is this gonna cost me? I scoured the internet for other indie authors just to see what they were spending on their books, and let me tell you, I was stressed. As soon as I saw the numbers that they were sharing on their channel, immediately my brain was like, there is absolutely no way I'm gonna be able to afford this. But obviously, here we are 2 years later, and if you didn't know, my very first book, The Ghostwriters Club, is set to be released this month, April 29th, 2025. This thing that I thought I would never be able to do, I was actually able to do it. So, in this video, I'm gonna be breaking down all of the expenses that I had along the way to publish The Ghostwriters Club, all the way from draft 1 to final published copy. And at the end of this video, I'm gonna tell you exactly what I did, the budgeting that I did in order to be able to afford entering the indie author space. This video is just me breaking down my own personal process and the things that I wanted, the things that I couldn't live without. But with each of these items that I'm going to be listing, I'm also going to be giving you some free options to use. That way you can kind of decide and prioritize what you want to invest in and the things that you don't want to invest in. With all of that out of the way, let's get into the video. Like I said, I'm going to be going through all of my expenses throughout the entire process. So we're going to first start in the drafting phase, which really only includes one item, and that is Scrivener. When I actually first started writing my debut novel, I had actually already purchased Scrivener, but I had a computer that decided to unalive itself at the most untimely of times, so I basically had to buy a whole brand new license to put on my new computer. Scrivener is currently available for $59.99 for regular people and $50.99 if you are a student. I was not a student at the time that I rebought Scrivener, and so I ended up spending $60 on my Scrivener purchase. Now, do you absolutely need Scrivener to write your book? Absolutely not. Personally, for me, the thing that made me want to invest in it again was I just really enjoy the user interface, and I just love all of the organizational tools that really just work well with my neurodivergent brain. I find that I can be the most organized in Scrivener without just having a bajillion random things everywhere. Like, everything in Scrivener has its place, has its moment, has its little nook and cranny on the screen, and it just all works, and I really enjoy it. And also, one of the big perks of Scrivener is that unless your computer just dies on you, you have access to the application for lifetime, which I love, because in a world that is slowly becoming more and more run by subscription services, episode 1 of the new season of Black Mirror, I'm looking at you. It is just so nice to have something that you can pay for one time and use it for the lifetime that you have that computer. Some good free alternatives that I have used include Notion, Milanote, Obsidian, Microsoft Word, Google Docs. Pages pretty much comes preloaded on any and all Apple products. So if you ever go get a new iPhone or iPad, MacBook, whatever, 9 times out of 10, Pages is gonna come on there preloaded, and you don't have to pay for it, so it's great. Moving over into the revision category of the Ghostwriters Club, the first thing that I went and paid for was my cover designer. If you haven't seen the cover of my beautiful book, here she is. This is the Ghostwriters Club. The actual cover itself was designed by Christian Storm, which is actually really cool, because while I was researching cover designers, that my cover designer also designed a cover for 13 Reasons Why. Netflix, where you at? Now, with my cover design, I got what I feel was a lot of things included in my package that I bought. Included in my package with my cover designer, I got my ebook cover, I got my paperbook cover, and I even got some marketing materials that I could use, the 3D rendering of the book that you see on some of the marketing things that I've been posting recently. He made that for me. And on top of that, I had unlimited revisions. That was a big one for me, because most of the people that I looked at were only offering like 3 revisions max, 5 revisions max, and I'm like thinking to myself, if I spend all this money and I end up with a cover that I don't like after however many revisions, I don't want to settle for something that I'm not happy with, you know? And so when I saw that he does unlimited revisions, that was fantastic, because I'm pretty sure we went through about 6 or 7 until we got to the final cover, because I wanted her to look her absolute best. Her mother is not going to let her just walk out into the world looking unkempt and unprofessional. Okay. But my cover designer did a fantastic job. I am absolutely in love with my cover. Thank you, Christian Storm, for bringing my ideas in my brain to life because it literally looks exactly how I saw it in my brain. I got that entire package for a total of $500. That might sound like a lot of money, but I've seen people go up to like $2,000 for a book cover and as little as like $250. So $500 was a-okay with me, especially for first time out, not really knowing anything. I really stumbled upon a killer deal, so I guess sometimes you just get lucky. Now, moving on to the second professional that I worked with, I hired my professional editor from Reedsy as well. His name is Dylan Garrity. This expense is the largest on this list, and it might startle you. I spent $1,600 on my professional editor. Now, hear me out. I did 2 rounds of edits, and between those 2 rounds, Dylan had my book for a total of like 6 to 7 weeks. And I know I probably wasn't the only book that he was working on, but if you imagine if he has like maybe 2 books he's working on, editors gotta pay rent too, all right? And for 6 and 7 weeks worth of work and the quality of the work that I got back and the lessons that I learned about line editing and developmental, all of that is literally worth its weight in gold. I would not change a thing. I would, if I did this all over again, I would in fact hire a professional editor. Me as an indie author, I don't want someone to pick up my book and immediately look at it and be like, oh, an indie author wrote this. I want it to blend right on in, camouflage in with all the other traditionally published books, and hold its own ground in the genre of thrillers and mysteries. You know what I'm saying? If, however, getting a professional editor is something that you are choosing not to pursue for a variety of reasons, there are other things that you can do to help get feedback on your story, to keep improving your story and your prose and your lines and all that good stuff. Meredith E. Phillips here on YouTube actually has a critique partner matchup on her channel. I'm pretty sure it's like an ongoing thing that you can just join at any time, and you know, I'm pretty sure she has it divided into the different genres, so you can just show up, click on the genre that you're writing in and be like, hey, I have this book, does anyone want to read it? I'll read yours if you read mine. Also, if you didn't know, there is a Discord that you can join. I'm actually a part of it, created by CK Jensen and Dami here on YouTube. Some are writers, some are readers, some are just there for the vibes, an all around good time, and that would be a great place for you to perhaps find a beta reader or a critique partner. But I'll link both CK and Dami down below so you can go and search for that Discord. And the last expense that I made in the revision formatting category is Vellum. Basically, it is a tool that can be used to format your book in a way that looks like it was formatted by a professional, and it is absolutely worth its weight in gold. The only downside with Vellum is that as of this time, it is only available for Apple users. Hopefully in the future, they will come out with a version for Windows because it is fantastic. They have a version of the application that is $199 for ebook formatting only, and then they have a version that is $249 for ebooks and physical books. I personally went with the $249 option because, as you can see from the blurry book behind me, I chose to do ebook and physical book. And again, just like Scrivener, Vellum is a one-time purchase. It is not subscription-based. So you pay for it one time and you can format unlimited books forever and ever. Amen. If you do not want to spend money on a formatting service, there are plenty of video tutorials out there on the internet, on the AuthorTube space, that show you ways that you can format your book the exact same way using Google Docs and Microsoft Word. From what I have gathered from those tutorials is they are pretty intensive and they do take a lot of time, whereas Vellum is literally just like plug and play. Moving on into the publishing category, the very first thing that I bought in this category were ISBNs. I could sit here and talk to you for like 2 hours all about ISBNs, so here's the fast version of it. But that ISBN number, that is my ISBN for the Ghostwriters Club, and the way it works is you go to Bowker.com or myidentifiers.com, and that is where you purchase these ISBNs. Now you might be thinking to yourself, don't most of these publishing platforms offer free ISBNs when you go to actually upload your book? Yes, they do. If you choose to go with a free ISBN from either KDP, Ingram Spark, whoever else, you are basically getting a proprietary ISBN number. This ISBN number can only be used on the platform where you received the ISBN. Gosh, take a shot every time I say those 4 letters. Just kidding, don't do that. If I wanted to upload my paperback book to 5 different platforms, I would have 5 different numbers that are identifying my book. It's much easier for people to find your book under one number. If they know that one ISBN, they can literally find it on any website that they go to ever. Now let's get into the cost of the ISBNs, shall we? On myidentifiers.com, one ISBN is $125. You can buy 10 ISBNs for $295, or you can buy 100 ISBNs for $575. They do have numbers that go beyond that. I feel like those are marketed more towards publishing companies that are putting out a plethora of books in a year, and so they need to buy all their ISBNs in bulk. It makes more sense for them to do that because they get a better discount. I went with the 10 ISBN option for $295. Personally, for my ebook, I actually did utilize KDP's free ISBN, and I did that because with Amazon, when you upload your ebook, you can choose to be part of the, the Kindle Select program or whatever. Your book has to exclusively be published with Amazon. So it made sense to use their free ISBN, because if I'm not gonna be able to publish it anywhere anyways, why would I waste one of the ISBNs that I spent my own personal money on? That would be silly. But if you only want to publish your paperback to Ingram Spark and you only want to publish your ebook to KDP, I would absolutely utilize the free ISBN. For me, I chose to use my own paid ISBNs because I wanted to have the freedom to upload my book anywhere and everywhere that I choose to in the future without having to worry about a new ISBN number, all that headache. Moving on to the next expense in this category, we have proof copies. This is a step that if you are publishing a physical book, you absolutely do not need to skip it, in my opinion. This is your opportunity as the author to see what the physical book is going to look like, what readers are going to hold in their hands before they're actually holding it in their hands. This is great because this gives you time to fix anything that might not look quite right on the inside. This gives you a chance to adjust your cover if it's not quite aligned where it needs to be. I did 2 different rounds of proof copies, and in total, it cost me $30. It's super inexpensive. Prices vary on the actual length of the book, but for me, the actual price of the book was like $5, and then I just had to pay shipping. And last but not least, we have the pre-order giveaway that I'm doing, which if you didn't know, if you are watching this video on Monday, April 14th, when it is posted, you have one final day to enter the pre-order giveaway. 1 of them is free, 2 of them have paid elements. All of them are still going for 1 more day, so if you have not been able to enter any of those giveaways, make sure you do it today because midnight tonight is the deadline. Now, as far as the pre-order giveaway, this can be, again, as expensive or inexpensive as you make it. I am personally giving away 3 signed copies of my book, and I am selecting 2 winners to receive a set of merch. Personally, for me, the giveaway itself is actually being sponsored mostly in part due to my patrons. God bless you. Thank you so much. Love you. By the time you factor in the items being ordered and delivered to my house, the shipping that I'm paying, the shipping materials that I got, the grand total of the giveaway came out to be around like $250 there, give or take, because I've also been ordering some things, as I've been going along just out of my own like personal account. And that brings us to our grand total. I'm gonna hold your hand when I say this, $2,984. Yeah, let that sink in for a minute. If you take out the $180 that I received from my patrons over the course of the last 4 months, that brings the total out of my pocket to $2,804. Now, yes, that sounds like a lot of money, and it is a lot of money. And you might be thinking to yourself, there is no way I'm gonna be able to spend that kind of money on publishing my book. And I'm here to tell you that I thought the exact same thing, and obviously here I am living proof that you can do it. And I'm gonna tell you exactly how I was able to do it. When I first started drafting this book in 2023, I knew that I was serious about getting it published. I wanted it to be as professional as possible. I had done the research. I knew how much money I needed to save up. And so right then and there, I opened a separate savings account. I get paid every other week. So on that payday, $100 was already in my savings account. I never missed it because I never saw it, if that makes any sense. That's roughly about $200 a month. Every now and again, I'd have a month that would have like $300 because 3 paychecks happened in that month. It was something that I didn't have to think about. Since I started that back in October of 2023, I had nearly hit my goal of $3,000 by the time I was looking for my professional editors and cover designers and all of that stuff for this book. Now, while that might be a boring answer, it is the answer that I feel would be most attainable for most people. Even if you don't do $200 a month, even if it's just $50 a month, $100 a month, all of that adds up. And if you start now while you are drafting your book, that money is there and you don't have to stress about it. Thank you all so much for tuning into this video. I hope that I was able to sort of break down that barrier and make indie publishing a little less scary. It is never too late to start chasing your dreams, to start putting that extra $20, that extra $50 aside. There is nothing wrong. There is nothing selfish about you taking the money that you work hard for and investing it in yourself, in your passions, in your talent. Thank you all again so much for watching this video. I hope to see you in my next one, but until then, keep chasing your dreams and keep writing. Bye.